We'll try and maybe find out about that, but I can't believe there's been too many, if any, sets of brothers who have achieved that, competing together at 2 Olympic Games. Say Leon and Michael Spinks both winning gold at Montreal in 1976. We move on. 2 bouts to come, 2 super heavyweight quarter-finals. Doubling up as quota bouts, of course. This is Quota Sunday. And this is Spain's Ayoub Ghadfa. World bronze medalist last year, won gold at April's European Championships in Belgrade. In Busto Arsizio, lost a split decision to Italy's Diego Lenzi, who went on to secure a quota spot. And Ghadfa very impressive yesterday in overcoming the tall Mohamed Abraridonov of Tajikistan. Ahmed Hagag, a bit fortunate to get here perhaps, certainly not in the way he would have wanted. People's Republic of China's Bayakavuzi Danabike suffered a cut early on. It was actually sustained in Italy in his quota bout there. That time it came from a punch, so he lost by injury. This time it was an accidental clash of heads, so they went to the scorecards after just 2 minutes, and Hagag got it on a 3-2 split decision. Now, from my research, I see that these men have met 3 times before, and Ghadfa's leading the head-to-head 2-1. In the quarter-finals of last year's World Championships, he beat Hagag 3-0 on points, and that has put him ahead. But it's all about this contest here.
Yeah, it certainly is all about this contest. And it is indeed, as you can see, the tail of the tape. The size differential there. Hagag against Ghadfa. Look at that, jumping splits. He'd be well adept to be doing the gymnastics as well.
We could find a beam to take his weight, perhaps. Not sure they're designed for 100-kilogram men.
Jumping splits when you're 100 kilograms. Not easy to do. So he's got that athleticism that we've seen. He's got that in and out style. Ghadfa, the Spaniard, working well. Hagag, of course, as you mentioned, by way of that cut, is still involved. So he'll be quite fresh coming into this.
Let's see Ghadfa trying to dictate with that left jab and lands one on the face of Hagag. Ghadfa controlling the distance early on. Sorry, John.
No, controlling the distance, you're rightly, but also measuring it, just seeing what he's going to do next. He's a very smart fighter, likes to download that intel before making the decision. For that reason, Hagag trying to bum rush him a bit here, get forward.
These two, as mentioned, pretty familiar with each other. Ghadfa ducking under that right hand from Hagag. Austrian going hunting. First time Hagag switching to the body, but Ghadfa showing good movement to avoid most of these punches as the gum shield comes out.
Yeah, straight away there, as you said, that movement, the upper body from Ghadfa, to see it coming, but also there's a lot of power on these shots. So Hagag agog a couple of times there, eating a couple of big hooks, and a good jab there from the Spaniard. Plenty of authority in these punches. And as you say, Hagag was the hunter, but now he's the hunted.
Yeah, Ghadfa has got the Austrian on the retreat. Hagag trying to get up close and personal, but you can see Ghadfa using his feet, bouncing off the ropes.
Yeah, it's the better boxing so far from the Spaniard. There's a good authority behind the jab. Good response there from Hagag.
Yep, got in and out with the right, did Ghadfa, but Hagag did land a shot on the inside. Hagag also managing to get out of the way of some of these Ghadfa shots. The cut from Ghadfa. someone finish this round with a flourish. We're inside the last 10 seconds.
The Spaniard leaving nothing to chance, as you say, Rory, trying to put on a bit of a show at the end there. 4 or 5 unanswered shots.
Three judges in favour of Ghadfa and 2 for Hagag. So a close first round. I thought Ghadfa had the better of it. And he's marginally in front.
Yeah, that work rate gave that Spanish success. And I think he does look like the more active. We saw him doing the jumping splits. And we want to avoid a split decision for sure. Still very close, Ahmed Hagag. Just if he can upgrade that work rate a little bit and fire some shots up the stairs, and he can get some more success.
I said Ghadfa, there might not be a beam to take his weight, of course. Only the women perform on the beam in artistic gymnastics.
Good knowledge.
So, Ghadfa, I'm not sure we'd see him on the high bar or the rings particularly. I think he's a bit too big and strong and heavy for that, but he's proving very adept in the ring here. Just about ahead after round 1.
But this pace here will suit Ahmed Hagag a little bit more. He wants to wait, he wants to try and pick and pot shot with good shots like that one there, but no real steam on it, so more defensive work from the Austrian. Once Ghadfa lets the 2 and 3 punches go, he can make the difference.
So there is the tactic from Hagag, the right over the top on the counter. Just off the mark on that occasion. Managed to connect that time. Right to the body from Hagag. And an interesting adjustment from the Austrian. He's made Ghadfa change what he's doing, so he could see that as a bit of a win.
Yeah, for sure. He's made the Spaniard a little bit more tentative as we reach the halfway stage and just putting the hands out to say, OK, come in. And you know why? Because Hagag is waiting for that counter, that backhand there. Good patience from Ghadfa. Rewarded there with a nice little hook to finish off that salvo.
Yeah, they're starting to engage now. Some good shots at range from Ghadfa. Hagag did land on the counter, but the Spaniard winning that exchange. Just over a minute to go in round 2.
Yeah, Hagag is apt to sticking his chin out to try and draw you in and then pull back for the counter. It hasn't worked so far. Ghadfa reading that simple playbook and following in with a couple of good shots, as he did in the first round, marginally ratcheting up the intensity now.
I think Ghadfa took some confidence from landing a couple of those big shots.
It's always the old trick. Play nice, little touch of the gloves, and then follow in with a 1-2, as Hagag just did there. But there's no kidding the judges at the moment, because the Spanish boxer boxing well now.
Oh, it was a big left on the inside, left hook from Ghadfa. Hagag took it well, but because he's been defensive, and he hasn't thrown that many punches, and given that Ghadfa landed that big combination, I think he's going to struggle on the scorecards here.
Yeah, if you're going to look at it for competitiveness or quality legal blows, it's the red corner, but let's see what they think.
One judge giving it to Hagag, but the other 4, I think, not quite sure, it's close, but the situation is, I think 2 judges have it 2 points ahead Ghadfa. 1 judge has Hagag 2 points ahead, and the other 2 are dead level. So it means still all to play for in this final round.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen Ahmed Hagag's full work rate. He's been quite subdued. He's kept himself in this contest. By way of contrast, of course, we can see signs of tiredness now for Ayoub Ghadfa. Can he sustain this? He's been the one that's carrying it in terms of the competitiveness marginally.
Hagag needs to win this round convincingly to take the victory. If it's a close one, it probably goes the way of Ghadfa just because he's ahead on 2 scorecards. It's all square on 2 scorecards. In out from Ghadfa. Left jab from Hagag, and he goes to the body as well, does the Austrian.
He's changing things up here, he has to be. Ghadfa's still quite tentative. Obviously, the magnitude of what's at stake weighing on both. But it is the Spaniard that certainly carried the fight. It hasn't been hard to find as he lands a nice counter jab there.
Ghadfa looking at the referee. Has been tied up on occasions by the Austrian. Counter right from Ghadfa. Good shot from Hagag, though. That was the straight right. The Spaniard didn't see it coming.
Yep, and that's why he's been tentative. He knows that quickness that belies the style of Hagag across the sport as he comes again.
Oh, there's a right hand, and it's been given as a knockdown.
It's a good one too.
Hagag saying there might have been a bit of a trip involved perhaps, but looked like a knockdown from here.
The only trip involved is one to Paris, and at the moment Ghadfa's put himself at least one better chance to take that trip. Good jab as well.
Good boxing from the Spaniard. Just before that exchange, it just looked like Hagag might be taking the initiative, but big men, super heavyweights, those punches count. Hagag sent to the canvas. The judges don't have to take that into consideration with their points. It doesn't automatically mean a 10-8 round, for instance, or even mean that Ghadfa has won the round. But the Spaniard seems to have relaxed him a bit. He's using the jab that bit better, and Hagag suddenly looks really tired.
Yeah, regardless of whether the judges scored or not, you can see slightly discombobulated here as Hagag is feeling it. There's a big uppercut at the end of that trio of punches from the big man in red, and he's putting on the style here, laying on a bit of a masterclass. Up on his toes he goes.
And Hagag chasing him into the corner, but Ghadfa can see his man is tired, and there's a bit of chat between the two.
Brothers in arms.
Part 4 of the series. Warm embrace is between the pair. And you can see as Hagag trudges back to his corner, I think he realises he hasn't done enough.
Yeah, he was undone at the end there. Ahmed Hagag tried to play possum, keep cool and fire in with a big shot. He landed it, but Ghadfa took it resolutely and then stepped on the gas and stepped on Ghadfa as well. Some really good clinical shots there, particularly down the stretch. That uppercut amongst them. Not just to mention that standing count as well, but an outstanding bout from both boxers. But we are about to find out the winner. Of course, Team Spain will be very pleased with their efforts here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by split decision in the red corner, representing Spain, Ghadfa DCL
Ayoub Ghadfa secures a 6th Olympic quota spot in boxing at Paris 2024 for Spain. You can see the delight among the fans and the teammates. And a nice touch there, commiserations for his old rival. 4th time they've met, and Hagag obviously close to an Olympic spot but not this time for the Austrian, and a lift for the Spaniard. Great respect between the two, but you can see the disappointment for the Austrian.
Yeah, for sure. Ahmed Hagag gave it everything. Actually, he was asked there by Ghadfa to raise his hand. He said no, 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 kept his hand down and then lifted. Now the victor in this one, so showing his respect there. Fantastic foursome, as you say, finishing with a brace of prayers, and wonderful exhibition of super heavyweight style, especially from the Spaniard. Some great shots, and of course we saw the respect that grows within that burgeoning rivalry.
Joy for Spain. The 6th quota spot. There's some of those punishing blows from both men in these contests at over 92 kilograms. There was the knockdown, the nod of the head from Ayoub Ghadfa, and the celebrations from the Spanish contingent. 6th boxer at Paris 2024. Confirmation of the result. Looks like all 5 judges gave Ghadfa that final round. No surprise